Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about the Houston Rockets potentially signing Tim Hardaway Jr. this free agency. So the Houston Rockets, after the Kevin Durant trade yesterday and a Fred VanVleet extension that, as of the most recent report, should be happening June 30th, after a VanVleet extension, assuming probably $25-30 million is handed out to VanVleet, I would guess, the Rockets will have enough, to use their full mid-level exception, which will, as people call the MLE, and that is, something that the Rockets could use for a potential shooting guard. And, the trade for Kevin Durant yesterday was really good for this Rockets team, and it's great that they're going to have a number one option now, and they're going to have a great three-point shooter in Durant, the number one scorer. But the only negative thing about the trade is you lose two guys who are at the shooting guard position. I know Brooks that, was at the small forward position because, he was in a lineup that had Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet right next to him. But if Brooks was ever playing most of the time Brooks was playing on the floor when Jalen Green was not on the floor. Brooks was at the shooting guard, and the only times Brooks was usually at small forward was because Jalen Green and VanVleet were on the floor with him. So you are losing two shooting guards and gaining a small forward, power forward in Kevin Durant. And so I think in free agency, one need you could look at is shooting guard. And there are many free agents that the Rockets could look at shooting guard in this free agency class to potentially, go after. This free agency class is not very strong. This is a offseason that should be more noticeable. It should be more memorable for the trades that happen in this offseason than the free agency. This is a very weak free agency class, but the shooting guards in this free agency class is not very bad. You've got some guys the Rockets could look at. My favorite for the Rockets add in is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They could look at Ty Jerome, Malik Beasley, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is the guy we're talking about right now. Karis LeVert, just a couple of names on the list, good, scoring shooting guards who are good three-point shooters. I think the Rockets should look into a guy who can shoot well from three, and that's all the guys I just mentioned. And Hardaway Jr. would definitely be one of those guys on the list, and to use the full mid-level exception on. But Hardaway Jr. this year with Detroit averaged 11 points per game and 2 assists per game, with 2 rebounds per game, shot really well from three, 37% from three on 6 attempts per game, in 77 games, 77 starts from three in his career. Hardaway Jr. is in his career is 36% from three. Has had some really good 3-point shooting seasons in his career. So, I think he'd be a great addition. I think there are some better additions that the Rockets could make if they're going to use that full mid-level exception. On one of the players I mentioned, I think Ty Jerome, Alexander Walker, or Malik Beasley would be better. I think I like the fit of Alexander Walker the most because not only does he add in good 3-point shooting, which is something all the guys I mentioned would do, but he also adds in great defense, which is something, he can kind of try to fill the void a little bit of the defense that you're losing with Dillon Brooks in the Kevin Durant trade. Let me know your thoughts on the potential signing for the Rockets, signing Tim Hardaway Jr. in the comments section, and peace out. Go Rockets.